Hey, hey, pickers, Mighty Mike, Pickin Weeds Vintage. And we are in the garden. Wow, those irises are looking beautiful. And you saw the Siberian iris is just coming up. Today, we are going to address the problem of weeds. In particular, grassy weeds, clumps of weeds, clumps of grass that have grown around your fruit trees, around your trees, around your bushes, and it's jumped out of the regular landscape and into the beds. No! And it has become a problem this time of year. We're getting a lot of rain and the grass is growing like a greenhouse, like every 2 to 3 days. But this is just out of control. Right, Ollie? When you have that much. So we just transplanted this guy, okay? But look already, he has lots of weeds coming up. But look at these other ones. The red twig dogwood, the Bailey. You can see that the weeds, the grass, has hopped down from the regular lawn and around your bushes. So how do you solve that problem? That's what we're going to tackle on this edition of Pickin Weeds Vintage. So glad you joined us. Before you know it, we're going to have raspberries. Look at all the raspberries on the raspberry trellis. I love raspberries, especially the black raspberries. Ooh, look at the sunflowers coming in. Didn't plant a single one of those. This came up from last year. Love when that happens. All right, so we already started on this one, and you can see I already pulled the weeds out. The clumps of grass. It already looks a lot better. You can use several things. I'm actually using my pick. And you don't want to go deep. You just want to kind of go underneath it a little bit because you don't want to hit the roots of the tree. You can use a flat shovel, flathead shovel, or you can use a hoe. You can even use one of the weeders, the little hand tools. Another tip, as always, make sure you wait to do it after it rains. We had a lot of rain yesterday and the weeds are coming out super easy. Yes! Okay, so you can see the big clumps of grass. It just growing on its own. See the big clumps of grass? And we want to just lift underneath there. And I want to use this edge. Again, you don't want to go too deep because you could get the roots of the tree and then that could kill it. So you just kind of got to go with the feel. Kind of skim it a little bit. Because really, most of this grass, if you stay on top of it, it's not that deep yet. It will go deep if you ignore it. Wow. Look at that piece. I like to shake it so you don't throw all that nice dirt away, that soil, or the worms either, because you're going to find those in there too when you skim it. See, I saw some roots there. I didn't hit them, but because there's so much soil there, they did become exposed. So make sure that you cover that soil again. You don't want those roots exposed. And then what I like to do is I like to actually brush it around. You can actually get mulch in from last year, especially the previous one we did. There's quite a little bit of mulch there. And if you do it right, you don't have to mulch every year. Maybe you can do every other year. Even shake some of that mulch out too. A night and day difference than what it looked before, right? Doesn't that look so much better already? And we just did 2. We got a bunch more to go. It's fun. Right, Sonny? Hi, Sonny. Psst, 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 psst. My cheerleader. Aww. Okay. Here we go. Look at how good these look. That looks so much better than it did. All right. So, take the pickaxe. Just kind of skimming underneath there. Look at that. keep on going. So you can see, just looks so much better, so much cleaner after you do it. And then once I cut the grass, these are gonna really pop. Right, Ollie? Schmoozer. Good boy, Ollie. Good boy. Normally I wouldn't use a pickaxe to do this, but again, you're just skimming, and because we're so busy and we're doing shows and really you have to budget your time, you don't always get out here to the garden. This was kind of like an SOS. All right, before the grass totally takes over in that area, I'm going to use my pickaxe. And again, we're just skimming. We're not digging, we're skimming. You don't want to hit the roots. That would be really bad, because these miniature fruit, well, the dwarf fruit trees, they would definitely be hurt if, and they have shallow roots, if you would hit one of the roots. So again, we're skimming, but normally you'd be able to stay up to speed with those kind of things. And you could do it by hand or with a little digging tool. But today I just had to, you know, go to the big guns, as they say, with a pickaxe. Wow! All right, so we got a whole row done. Can you see down the line here? It looks great. We didn't get a chance to get this row done just because as a picker, you have to budget your time, and we have some sales and they have to go out today because we have 1 day turnaround time, and I'm going to do that right after this. But I did cut the grass, and just look at how nice these beds look. By the way, this red twig dogwood, the Bailey, that came up on its own, and it came up over in that side of the garden over there, and we transplanted it to here. And I guess a bird pooped the seed out or whatever from one of these guys. Those small ones are $34.99 at the landscape store. Probably a size like this would be 50 bucks. So to get something like that for free, we lost a tree here, and we decided, it was a storm, it was a pear tree, and we decided, you know what, let's just use something that we have. But let's just go down the row here. Looks really nice. Now, I refreshed it, but we're gonna be getting some mulch in a week or two, and those are going to look really nice when I get to mulch them in. But I did refresh them as best as I could, and they're looking nice. I hope that you learned a thing or two on this edition of Pickin Weeds Vintage. So glad that you subscribe. And we want to thank again all of our new subscribers that we have. Thanks a lot to our eBay customers as well. Pickin Weeds Vintage online if you go to our eBay store. And of course, our social media footprint as well. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Flickr, TikTok, and eBay. I'm Mighty Mike in the garden. Thanks for watching. Happy picking, everybody.